And welcome back. This is Beyond Gardens Live. Well, it is, as long as there's a little logo down there in the corner of the screen telling you that it's live. Actually, I can't see it. Is it down there? Yes, it's down there.
It's down
okay.
there, John. But it's also October
if it's not there,
as well.
we're not live. Yeah, if it's not there, we're not live. But by the way, even if you are watching repeat, you can still send us emails during the course of the week.
Yes.
Can't they?
Yes, they can. And they can send those emails to tv@beyondgardens.com.au, and please attach a photo so we can help to...
make a lot of difference.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
If it's live, you can call us as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Please call us 6468 5994. Please turn the sound down and we'll endeavour to try and get to all your calls.
And we will. Oh, sorry.
We'll do our best. Well, I just wanted to say, look, all this is made possible by our sponsor, who is the Water Corporation, and we're grateful for their continuing support. Okay.
We will go to a call.
We will go to calls. Right. Hello. Welcome to the garden.
Hello. My name's Simon.
Hi, Simon.
Hi, Simon.
Hello. I've got a fig tree, and every single year when it fruits, the fruit is dry on the inside.
Yes.
Glad you asked that question, because somebody else on the channel was asking exactly the same question before we started.
Yes, yeah. It can be a couple of things. The first one is getting the mulching up to it again, or they're stuck in that groove again. And also just making sure that they do get that complete trace elements as well. It can be a nutrient imbalance, and it also can be a water supply balance. Even though your fig may be a huge big fig, they still have those shallow feeder roots that they rely on to get that moisture for fruiting. But it can also be something else.
They're also remarkably tough plants. They are tough, but if you want figs, look after them a little bit. Yeah.
However, what we were also talking before, that it may also be a seedling, in which case the fruit will never be any good. Simon, was it what do you know what variety it was when you planted it?
I didn't plant it. It's been in the house when we bought it. And it's quite an old one. I thought maybe it was the ants that were introducing some kind of infection to it.
Oh no, I don't think that would be the case, Simon. But the thing about figs is they do grow so easily from seed. They also grow remarkably easily from cutting. If you can find somebody who's got a known variety, like the black Genoa, which was that fruit I showed you just a moment ago, get that selected form and maybe start again. Now, on top of that, there's also an issue sometimes with pollination, but that's such a detailed story.
Oh, I don't think that would be a problem. I think for this particular caller that pollination wouldn't be a problem because they have a very good source of bees.
Oh, good.
No, bees, sorry. Bees don't do figs.
Oh, bees don't do figs.
So it's enough of the story, but very, very briefly now, bees don't do figs. The fig flower never opens. Never opens. Stays shut all the time. All the plants in that family do. They're somewhat weird. The only insect that can do the pollination is a wasp. A tiny little wasp that actually bores into the fruit and mucks around inside and pollinates and lays a few eggs. So the crunchy bits you get are not just the fig seeds, they're also
baby
little wasp larvae.
Yum, yum.
That's what gives the fig its flavour. Yeah. It's a fascinating story, but maybe we'll do the full story one day. Okay.
So in essence, mulch, good coarse mulch, trace elements.
But it may also be a case of it's a nice tree butt.
Yes.
Yep. Good luck, Simon. Thanks for your call.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so now we can take some emails.
Emails?
And just remind callers to please give us a call.
Yeah, please.
Yep, we're waiting on your calls.
Okay, we've just got a quick email here in relation to the nematodes, which is probably something that we probably could have raised. This is from Brad in Secret Harbour. They haven't had nematodes in their veggie patch since they've been using molasses once every couple of months. They used to get them really bad.
Interesting, because there is no documented evidence to show that molasses do anything to nematodes. I cynically think that's put out by... We used to use sugar solution. But there is some evidence to indicate that the use of molasses may stimulate some microbial activity in the soil. And that is a secondary effect then. But critically important, again, the best thing you do is not rely on something like a molasses, but rather get some organic matter into the soil, which is the base support of life.
Absolutely, and molasses is a relatively, compared to organic matter, it's a reasonably expensive way to go.
Yeah.
And it should be used for better purposes, like rum. So.
Now, we had another email, this came in last week actually, asking us to identify this particular plant. And it's a rather unusual plant, as you can see. It's sort of pretty.
Sort of pretty.
Well, it's different. It's quite ornate, in fact. And a lot of people get excited about it. But can I tell you, it's a weed. It's a weed we don't want. It's called black flag, or if you want the botanical name to look it up, Ferreria crispa. It's one that's spreading quite rapidly, and if you do see it, admire it briefly before you stomp on it or pull it up, okay? Our caller related later on in a second email after I'd identified it for her, that people around in the northern wheat belt were actually putting it in their gardens because it looks so nice. No, it's a weed, please. It's a weed. Get it out. It is threatening our natural environment.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, well, before we go on to another email, we do have another call.
Right.
So, hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi, it's Tamara here.
Hi, Tamara.
Hi, I'm just wondering, we've got some crocus palms that are actually blocking our main drain, and we're just wanting to know if we can, what's the best way to get rid of that?
So get rid of the crocus palm?
I believe so, or control them in the drain. Before you get ruthless,
oh, come on,
can we just talk in general terms about plants get a bad rap for blocking drains. Now, they will only block a drain. There are only two ways that they can block a drain. Number one, if there's a leak in the drain to start with, and most modern PVC pipes, if they're properly installed and there's no leak, roots will not bust into it. They will not break into it. They can't sense, well, they can sense there's water there, but they won't break into it. But if there's the slightest leak, woomph, and then it expands. But the other thing about palms is, and before you get ruthless, palms have a ball-type root system. Most palms, not all of them, but most have a ball-type root system. Small when you put them in. As they grow, the ball expands. Then you can actually crush the pipe and break it.
Yep, you physically
and that's frequently what happens.
Yep. But in the meantime, give it a nice prune, about 10 centimetres off the ground, and all our crocus palm problems will be solved.
Oh, he is rude, isn't he?
No. Crocus palms...
They've had their day.
They've had, a long time ago they had their day, and the rats absolutely love the fruit.
Yeah.
Absolutely love the fruit. So... yeah, I'm not a big fan, as you can tell.
I thought I had a lovely photograph, actually, but I can't find it, of a crocus palm that had crushed a pipe. So, look, you've really got to knock the palm off, and many have been planted in the wrong spot. A word of caution to those people who are thinking of putting them in, make sure there is enough room for that root system to expand. I'm often asked, what have I got against crocus palms?
And?
Well, two things we're short of. Water and shade.
Absolutely.
Right? They need heaps of water if they're going to look good and provide be-all shade. So the recommended treatment for most crocus palms in my book is a chainsaw. Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go, all the audience.
There goes all that crocus palm lovers.
It worries me. There's part of this inferiority complex in it. Like, let's pretend we live somewhere else.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's pretend we live somewhere else and put in palm trees and be in the South Pacific. And we're doing that in a place that has the world's best flora. Staggering. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's a long way down from the soapbox tonight.
No, but it's true. When people come back from holidays in, some destinations and they want to mimic what they've seen there, and why though? When we have such beautiful.
You go there for holidays, enjoy it, come back home. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so who have we got next?
I don't know.
I know we've got lots of emails in there.
Okay, if you'd like to pick... we did just get an email from somebody watching it on live from Queensland.
Ooh,
so hello
how
to you out there in Queensland. They're watching it live on the West TV live stream. So if you are in remote areas or you'd like somebody in a remote area to find out about us, they can watch it live on the internet.
And if our listener in Queensland would like to go to Port Douglas and say hi to Gary, who's out there at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, Gary's swanning himself. Swanning and sunning himself.
Okay. So, yes. Meanwhile, back to the plot and back home.
Yes.
I know we've got more emails there, John, so what have you got next? Are you ticking them off slowly?
Slowly.
Okay. Well, while you're ticking them off, I'll have a look. Okay.
Please do.
We did that one. We did that one. Yeah. Here we go. We have a few pots in our backyard with dwarf citrus trees. Perfect. Speaking of mulch, we used some PHA a few weeks ago on all of them. A few days ago, we investigated under it and found a lot of translucent worm-like things in the barrier between the mulch and the soil, with quite a few tiny flying insects. There's life down there. Not as we know it. What are they? I reckon the translucent things would probably be immature Portuguese black millipedes. Ooh. Sorry about that. Yep. They are, when they're young, and if they're underneath the mulch, almost no colour. Could be wormis. The flies, probably midges. And I say probably without seeing them because there are so many of them. But midges love those sorts of conditions. And some of those midges have larval stages that can damage the plant. So let's put on the record again, if you want a good mulch that's not going to create issues like that, large, coarse, irregular particles that don't hold water.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sunrise lime, did we get to that one last week?
Did we get to sunrise lime last week?
Sunrise lime doesn't ring a bell.
No, okay.
Okay, let's do it then.
It was great to have you back last week with answers relevant to WA conditions. This sunrise lime, planted in 2006, grew well but only had a few flowers in the second or third year with no fruit.
Who's this from?
Margaret.
From Margaret, okay. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing if I can find it.
Yep.
Has Margaret sent any photos in for us?
Yes, she
Yes,
did.
she has.
Yep. Fantastic.
Its branches withered and died, but a new branch would sprout almost immediately off the main trunk. We did do this one last week. No, we didn't. Thinking that the orange tree might be shading it too much, I moved it to a pot facing north 2 years ago. It grew better than ever. However, there were no buds this spring, and one of the branches is now withering and dying. However, new functional growth.
Yeah.
There we go. Yep.
Look, it's yes, it's a bit hard to see, but my reckoning is that you've got growth on the left, which is the real sunrise lime. Better on that one, look. We've got monitors everywhere here.
Yep.
That's the real sunrise lime. And then you've got the strong, vigorous upright growth, closer to the centre of the picture, a little bit to the right of centre, almost certainly rootstock. Almost certainly rootstock. So standard treatment, follow that growth down.
Cut it off.
And give it the kindest cut of all. Yeah.
The kindest cut of all.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Now, we were going to talk about what's coming up, weren't we, before it gets too late.
Yes.
So let's do that now, about coming events for what we're involved with for the next couple of weeks or so. And you two are busy this weekend.
Yes,
really are.
yes, we've got the
Very
Sustainability Expo at City of Vincent, which should be a lot of fun.
Yes, we'll be doing talks. You can come down and ask us questions. So Beyond Gardens live. So live in the flesh. We'll have some plants on display and give you some information on how to grow those in the garden.
So that's Saturday.
That's
and then
Saturday.
Sunday.
And then Sunday in City of Vincent again. It's the Cambridge Community Garden on Cambridge Street. Myself and Steve McCabe will be there. We'll be talking all things growing food. Steve will be talking about bush foods, and I'll be talking about foodscaping, and just generally answering questions about growing food in WA for WA conditions. And
then the following weekend, we're going to be at Carragullen Field Days. So this should be fun. We really do enjoy Carragullen a great deal. And it's a great day out up in the hills. It's not too far, just out of Kelmscott, just down the road from Araluen. Lots and lots of things go on at the Carragullen Field Days. I must admit to being a bit biased because I'm almost a sort of local, but it's a great day out up in the hills with there's some orchard machinery there, but there's lots of things for the kids and everything else as well.
Good food.
So it's really good.
Good food.
Good
That's always
food.
a good attraction.
Fruit.
Yep. Local produce.
Best bacon and egg burgers in town.
Ooh, and I heard there's a rumour there's maybe some cider tasting.
Oh, cider
probably that
tasting.
too.
Anything for vegetarians?
And you can also enjoy the company of Peter Coppin will be there talking about fruit trees, and Sue McDougall will be along later in the afternoon as well. So it's a full-on day. Now, back to the plot. While we got the opportunity.
Yep.
So 17th of October, Mount Claremont special event. That's you, I think.
No, that's
you.
Yeah, I think we're all there anyway. But no, the Mount Claremont special event is the City of Nedlands.
Yes, it would be.
City of Nedlands.
Oh, and they have a garden competition.
Yes, they have a verge competition, water-wise verge competition. Okay. As you know, we convert verges from lawn into a garden. These are ones that people have done themselves. We judge them. Actually, I'll be one of the judges with Phoebe. And the winners will be announced and prizes will be given for those winners of the garden competition.
Okay.
And I think that one may be close to being fully booked. So
all right. And then quickly, let's just look at the ones that follow them. We've got a series of what I call our regular garden-wise workshops. These are free workshops, but you do need to go to our website to register. And these are 3-hour workshops, and we have a lot of fun. I know 3 hours sounds like a long time, but it's not. It flies very quickly. So Piney Lakes, Floreat, and Wanneroo.
Yep, and usually really nice food in between.
And you do have to book. So go to our website, beyondgardens.com.au. Now, I noticed while we've been doing that, emails have been flooding in. Do you
yes, we've got 2 emails. This one is from Matt in regards to his dwarf fruit trees. He's just planted them in Mandurah. Can you give me best advice for success? He has apples. Wow, he's got a few varieties. Tinkerbells, Granny Smith. He's got peaches, pears, mandarins, oranges. Also, will ants affect the trees, and the best way to control pests? Thanks in advance, Matt. Thanks very much, Matt.
Simple question, Matt.
How long have you got?
Yeah, we'll write a book in answer to that. Look, I think it's wonderful now when you look at the range of dwarf fruit trees that are around, because this makes them so accessible to so many more people.
Yep.
Our houses are getting bigger, the blocks are getting smaller, the gardens are getting squeezed out, but you can still get fruit trees there in the small fruit trees. So Tinkerbell is a classic small version of Pink Lady that's been around for a while. We have a dwarf Granny Smith as well now.
Yes.
I can't remember what is that called, Little Granny by any chance?
I don't know.
No, it's probably called something else. And just about all the other ones Matt mentioned, peaches, pears, mandarins, oranges, all available.
And they're so much more manageable, aren't they, when they're the dwarf size?
Yeah.
Easy to water, or less water, less for... on the subject of the ants affecting the trees, a lot of people will see a lot of ants around their citrus trees. What the ants are actually doing is looking after the scales. They're farming the scales, for want of a better word. And so basically the scale sucking the plant, it's excreting the sugars. In return, the ants come and get the sugars and they guard the scale. So very easy to get rid of those.
Yeah.
That's not a tough one. That one, get rid of the scale, you get rid of the ants.
In fact, you only see ants if you've got, and in this case we've got a picture here, but it's not a fruit tree, but it's typical of an anthurium with ants on it. And scale insects too, if you look closely. At least I think we've got a picture. I'm just, there it is, and I'm sorry to our producers, but there we go. Just down the vein, if you look closely, sometimes you've got to look closely for scale insects. So the ants will be there either for scale or for aphids, right? They farm both. And yes, so if you see ants, it's really a signal to say, look out for the other problem. And in both cases, white oil will give you a reasonable fix. Reasonable fix.
And the best way to control pests, fortunately, because you have now got the dwarf varieties, you can literally get the hole in covering nets and screens now that will go over either the individual fruit or even the whole tree. Lots of lemons in a wine barrel. Not that they get a huge amount of pests, but you can just drape a whole netting over there, eliminate a lot of the flies and a lot of your pests.
And without having to use any chemicals.
So that was the quickest how to look after fruit trees ever.
Really,
so,
you need a book. Come up to Carrigullen Field.
Yes, absolutely.
Pick Peter's brains. Well, he's talking about his least favourite word on fruit trees is spalliering.
Oh, yes,
Yes, he insists it should be trellising, but I've learned to spell as spalliering, so we're going to use that one. We've also, I noticed, got an email from Roz, is it?
Yes.
Yes. Thinking of pulling up some pavers in my courtyard, replacing them with a garden bed.
Great.
I'd like to hold the remaining pavers back with treated pine timber, but I'm concerned about the chemicals as I would like to grow veggies. Can you please tell me, is it safe to use treated pine to surround a veg garden? Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
But.
Yeah.
There is a but.
There's always a but.
It wouldn't be that simple, and it'd make a very short live TV show. You just have to ask the kids up at Exmouth and the treatment that we gave them with their treated pine. Most of the schools now, they do use actually what's called ACQ treated pine. It's been treated in a different way that's less toxic to the old CCA. So if you can get hold of the ACQ, Ros, that's absolutely fantastic. But the other thing is that timber and stone and some of these products, they're porous as well. So you really do need to stop the moisture being drawn into those. Like the timber sucking up the moisture. So it's a good catch-22. Because to stop the moisture, you have to form a barrier. So something like bitumen paint, black plastic, like the builder's plastic, that will stop the moisture being taken up, but it also stops any potential release of the chemicals.
This was a garden bed that we built up at Exmouth. You built up at Exmouth. It's difficult to see perhaps from the images, but they are black on the inside because we used bituminous paint. And it was very successful at covering not only the timber, but also most of the students at Exmouth. Sorry, parents out there. There's an awful mess made out of that. But as John says, ACQ, this was the pine that I used for the construction of those garden beds at Garden Week this year. That's fine. It is fine. But not the old CCA. Although you'd have to question the quantities involved, but it's still safe now. Now we've got the better quality stuff to use the better quality stuff.
Says my generation who only played on playground equipment made out of CCA.
That's right. And
most
of that, those playgrounds have been pulled out and replaced with steel and plastic ones now.
And I have seen horses just literally chew on CCA all day and live for a long time.
Horses are prone to suicide, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah, no, you're right.
Not quite as bad as sheep, but not far off.
That's exactly right. So hopefully that's answered your question, Ros. Good luck with that, and good for getting rid of some of that brick paving and the heat sinks that we have around Perth. We have another email from Andrew. He's obviously been watching the show and he just wants to clarify what a water-wise mulch is. He's actually written here, what is a water-wise mulch? Jungle, carry peat. Regards, Andrew.
A question mark. Well, no.
Sorry, Andrew.
A lot of people put in dark mulches because it does make the plants look good. It's that background. I think we mentioned this before. It does make the plants look good. But they're terrible mulches. And we went into some detail, but just to repeat it, because it is so important to use the right mulch, particularly with summer coming up. Large, coarse, irregular particles. So that's the shape, size. And doesn't hold water. And that's where most of the so-called mulches fall down. They actually hold water. Think about it. When you water, you want the water to go straight through the mulch into the ground where the roots are, not be held in the mulch itself.
Yeah. And those dark mulches, like the carrion peat, I mean, they look good to start off with, but they break down really quickly and that black colour doesn't last. So you're much better to spend your money more wisely, more water wisely, with the coarse, irregular mulch.
And possibly the best mulch, I could show you so many different mulches. Possibly the best mulch of all is the one you make yourself.
Yep, tree prunings.
By avoiding putting stuff out on the verge when the council says we're doing green waste pickup and you go, right, I'll get my rate's worth out of this. Avoid the temptation. Put it through a mulcher, put it on the garden.
Yeah, and I mean,
many benefits.
Yeah, and not everybody can afford their own mulcher, but what you can do is you can hire a mulcher or you could get someone in. There's people that do that for a job. They'll come in and do a mulching job, whether it's small or large, or you could even get some of your neighbours together, do a bit of a community thing where everybody puts in their mulch together and benefits from it.
A small mulch with a cutting action is less than a mower.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So it's the best investment you can make, and if you want to share it with your neighbours. I had a cynic pointed out the only thing wrong with these ones with a cutting action, so it's got a sharpened tooth wheel that goes against a concave plate. Sorry, can't show you a picture. But it works very quietly and very efficiently and produces a great product. The only problem with them is it doesn't wake up the neighbour early in the morning.
Depends on how you get along with your neighbours.
Yes, yes. So, look, mulch is great, and it's very important to get that garden mulch right now before we get into summer. If you can sort of cover your garden bed with something like this, it's going to look terrific over the summer months. Have I got that picture up? I've done it again, have I?
Yes.
No. Oh, no, it's there. It's there. Okay. Now.
Have we got time for any more emails? Got a few more there?
No.
Oh, that's it, is it? Actually, that's a terrible garden. Now I've come to look at the picture. It's a terrible...
Wow.
Look at that picture.
That's not yours, is it?
No.
That is not John's garden.
Just with that picture in mind, just go back to that picture for a moment. Now this is a better looking mulch.
Yep,
okay, that's the better one out of the two. Right. God, I'm glad we cleared that up just in time. Oh, and by the way, last week, and we didn't pick up on it, just before the break, I was struggling, had one of those moments where I couldn't think of the rootstock of the rose. Yeah. I did recall, and those people who are yelling Fortunia aren't they? You're absolutely right. If you were yelling that at the television set.
That was us we were yelling at.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
So one last time, folks, it's tv@beyondgardens.com.au, and please, when you email us, please attach a photo, and that will give us a big helping hand in helping to help you.
Now, this is our website. And slightly different, beyondgardens.com.au. There's a wealth of detail on there. In particular, though, we'd like to draw your attention to our coming events and the florums.
Yeah, absolutely. The florum is it's not social networking, it's a forum, a garden forum. It's the name forum. There's over 1,300 members now registered, and we ask you to register. That's just so we know that you're not a computer trying to sell people stuff or a real person trying to sell stuff. If you start mentioning our products and trying to sell things to people, you will be politely asked to leave the garden. But it is a great resource to use. It's free. It's there for you to use. Ask a question, and people will hopefully get in contact. We try and get on there, but between the TV show and our workshops and everything else in between, our real jobs, we don't get on there as much as we'd like to. So yeah, but it's there for you and for fellow people to answer questions.
Okay, and there you'll also find all the details about our forthcoming workshops and where we will be over the next couple of weeks or so. It doesn't actually say who'll be there, but we'll all be around. It's been a funny program, this one, because I suspect that somebody spiked the telephone line because we had that many calls to start with and they just went quiet.
I've just heard the phone lines are down in Perth.
If you were trying to call, nothing personal. Okay, join us again next week, though. You can call live. And don't forget, in between time, you can send those emails with attached images.
Yes.
It's, as I say, been a challenging program for all of us, but we've all overcome it. The highly skilled crew that you can see whose names are running across the bottom of the screen there, and of course the big names we save until the end. We're going to be back doing the same thing again this time next week. Once again, we will be live, but you might be watching us on repeats or indeed live in Queensland.
Live in Queensland.
That's a first.
Yep, that's brilliant.
Hope you can join us then. From us tonight, good night.
Good night.